Welcome to another episode of Ghetto Antiques Roadshow. And I was very nervous about not getting this package because I had to admit, yeah, I'm pretty much of a jerk. The seller was in Florida, and with the hurricane, I was afraid this would never make it, but it did. And it wasn't blown away by Hurricane Ian, or whatever the hell they call him. And let's check this out. Now, this is something that I'm hoping and praying that it is what I think it is. And, oh, God. I hate when they use tape like this. Very hard to get open. Alright, so I'm having a hard time because I had 3 pairs of scissors, and none of them will actually cut. Look at this. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. And, oh my goodness. I'm going to tell you, hopefully, what I think it is. And I think it's from the last Tsars of Russia. And yeah, I know I'm a little I'm a little dramatic, but I'm hoping it's from the last Tsars of Russia, the Romanov dynasty era. And these Russian type of antiques are really, really highly sought after. So let's see. Let me get rid of this packaging material and let's zoom in. So I saw this on an eBay listing. It was just listed. I kid you not, within like 5 minutes of the seller putting it on, I happened to see it. And it was a buy it now for $14. And I said, well, in the description, the seller did not know what this was. And basically he said it's broken as is. And we have an original antique case. And I'm hoping, again, this is from the era of the Romanovs. And, all right, let's see, guys. I have Russian music on, by the way. Russian classical. I figured that would be appropriate. How the hell do you open this son of a bitch? Do you press a button? Well, shit. I don't want to break it. Oh, for the love of God. Oh, there we go. All right, you ready? You're ready? And what do we have here? Oh, boy, oh, boy. Okay, I think it is what I think it is. I'm going to have to investigate it for marks. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I believe this is a cigarette, well, really not a cigarette holder. Perhaps it's what's called a cheroot holder, which was very, very, very much like a cigarette during the olden days. And we have this beautiful enamel work, which is actually called chomp leave. And it's an enameling technique which consists of enamel filled inside like little metal cells. Basically, as you can see, there's little metal cells that vitreous enamel, was poured into. And that's how you get that design. Now, there's another design that's very similar that people get confused, called cloisonne. And that's another similar type of thing that has wires in between, but the wires are sunken in. And these actually, you can see the metal wires are raised up. So that's telling us that these are cells. Each piece that the champlive is in a cell. Now, this is an amber mouthpiece, and unfortunately, it's broken. And that actually is really, really, really a sucky thing. But let's take a look at this. Wow, it even has the wooden piece that you would have actually stuck a cheroot in. Perhaps a cigarette might fit in there. Let's test it. Hold on. I will be right back. I have a cigarette waiting. And here we go. These are my very own cigarettes, by the way. They're called D-Lights. My name's Deanna, so I make my own cigarettes. I really do. With a cigarette machine. And it saves me a lot of money. Now, let's see. Well, not quite. But then, yes, it would hold a cigarette. And a cheroot was around the same size. Really cool. All right, so, oh, shit. Well, did I break it? Oh, this will probably go back in like a cork. All right, let's go ahead and fix that. Jeez Louise, that just scared the crap out of me. All right, so we're going to look for a mark. Let's look. Now, usually if it's Russian, you'll see some marks. And it could be like some kind of enamel over silver. You'll see sometimes an 84, the number 84, and that denotes Russian silver. So I'm going to look this baby over and try to find any kind of marking. Now, it's very, very hard to see markings on these tiny little things. Let's try to zoom in. And sometimes it could actually be underneath this little piece here that would have attached the mouthpiece. So let us see. Yeah, this is definitely unmistakably Russian. Now I'm going to actually look for a mark later. But first, I want to see if I could fix this mouthpiece. This is very, very, very upsetting. It's amber. And this was probably made anywhere between, I'm going to go with about the like 1900 range to about the 19 teens. And let's see, can this be fixed? Well, I got pieces here. Let's see if we can actually glue this back on. It looks too far gone, actually. Yeah, there was another part of this, unfortunately. Let's see if I have a piece that can fit in here. I might have a cigar piece. I'll be back. Wow, this is smaller than I thought. Damn. I don't think this is going to work at all. This is going to be way, way, way too big. Too bad it wouldn't go on like this end, say. And then we could have like, you know, some kind of fancy thing going on. It's very hard to find the replacement pieces for these. These are like almost impossible to find replacement pieces for. And I'm going to show you some actual other Russian objects, really quite beautiful. And I'll be back in a minute. But maybe there's got to be possibly a way I could fix this. Let's see, can we get this in here and then I can glue part of it? Let's try to screw this on somehow. Oh, it's crumbling. Shit. And where do you get the replacement pieces for these? Unless you get a burner piece. And I don't want to pay more money. I guess we're going to just have to deal with this somehow. And that bothers me. Shits. Shits, shits, shits. All right. I'm going to go get some more of my antique Russian pieces. We'll go over the history of the Romanov family. And we'll learn something. All right. So before I get some of my other Russian antiques out, this is immediately, I took a look at this and I knew right away that this was Russian. Russian enameled silver gilt cigarette holder, 20th century. I guess it sold for $450, but it has the piece, which sort of sucks, but mine has the original case, which actually adds to value. Let's check out some other pieces. Here we go. And again, look, we got one in a case, $750, but unfortunately the amber mouthpiece is actually intact on this one. Now it is missing the little wooden piece that mine has that goes on the other end. But there you go. This is telling me that this is most likely Russian. And let's check out some more. And they call these antiques Imperial Russian pieces. And here's another one that sold for $450 in an original case with the original amber mouthpiece. Now, not having the original amber mouthpiece is going to hurt this quite a bit. And this wasn't actually dollars. This looks like sterling or Great Britain pounds. Yeah. All right, let's check out another piece. And this one's I believe they call it Niello. It's like a silver with some kind of black colors going through it. And here's a cigarette holder. And bidding is over. Does it have a price estimated? Okay, I don't know anything about that. I don't know if it sold for more or if it sold for less. It doesn't say what it sold for. Okay, and here we go. Here's some more Russian objects. We got a page turner. We got one of these little cigarette holders right here and another like little charm or a piece. I don't know what those things are. And some kind of button. And you can see these things sell for quite a bit of money. And let's check out some more if we can find it. Okay, so here we go. $285. And this one is quite different. The Champlive piece is very small as opposed to the size of the mouthpiece. But again, I'm going to have to find an amber piece. And it says Soviet Silver 875. So it has 87.5% out of 100% silver. Interesting. And here's another piece. And this one is very, very, very similar to mine. Almost identical, actually. Sold for $375. So, wow. Look at that. Yes, very similar to mine. The mouthpiece looks almost identical. The broken mouthpiece, that is. And so that'll give me an idea of what it would have looked like if it was intact. And I'm very upset that, I can't fix this. So they do call this antique Russian amber and enamel cigarette holder. And these Russian antiques sell for quite a bit of money. I'm going to show you some more Russian antiques and the price ranges for these type of champlive and silver work. And then I'm going to take mine out and show you. So I'm going to get my Russian icons out in a second. But look at some of the prices on these. Oh, wow. I mean, okay, so the one I have one with champlive. And I'll bring that out and show you. $7,000, and this is silver. And I have mine is silver with champlive, and I have another one that's silver and gold. Here's Jesus, $6,599, and yes, these sell for that price. Here's another example of one with silver with the crown, $4,250. And as you can see, these are quite expensive, these Russian collectible antiques. Okay, so here's my icons, and I found these on eBay, surprisingly, for very cheap because people don't know what these are. And so a lot of times you're lucky to find them. Now, they haven't been polished in years, and they're covered in layers of dust. Here's our other piece right there that we just got from eBay for $14. This one is solid silver. It's marked Russian 84 silver, and it's dated 1874. And let's try to find that mark. And it's right in here. And it's very hard to find these marks. I don't know if you can see that. See? Actually, I think it's 1875. And there you go. And we have what looks like gold. I never tested the gold part. It could possibly be solid gold. And we have this beautiful, I think it's a tempera paint. Or some kind of like egg paint or something. I forgot what they call that. But look at the workmanship on these Russian antiques. And here we got this one over here, which again has not been actually polished in years. It's really tarnished. And it has some Russian writing on it. If you're Russian and can read this, please tell me in the comments below what that says. But there we go. We got this hand painting and this beautiful, beautiful champlive. And look at it going all the way around. I don't know how old this one is, but I suspect this one is probably from about the 1890s to about 1900, maybe earlier. Who knows? If you know, write in the comments below. I don't see any silver marks anywhere, but then again, it's very hard to find them on these elaborate pieces. So I think I did really, really, really well on this cigarette holder for $14. Now, I had to find a mouthpiece. If you know where I can get a mouthpiece for something this tiny, please write it in the comments below. I Googled until my fingers bled, trying to find replacement parts for antique cheroot holders. And especially, it's very hard to find them to actually get the right size to match up with your piece. But I could not find them anywhere. The only thing I could find were these type of pieces for mini meerschaum pipes. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but yeah, this is actually way too big for this. Too bad. It's a shame because it would have went really well with that. What could you do? But basically, these pieces, now everybody's always trying to get these type of pieces. Now, this wasn't during the reign of Nicholas II or Tsar Nicholas. This one probably was. That's my guess right here. But everybody's always looking for what they call Imperial Russian antiques. Those are the most actually sought after. And look at this beautiful workmanship. That is just absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. All that enamel work. You know how much time that must have taken to do that? That's just like crazy. But basically, I'll give you a quick breakdown. So the Romanov family, or Tsar Nicholas II, was the last Tsar of Russia. He held power between 1894 to 1917. The army garrison at Petrograd, which is what we know today as St. Petersburg, joined the striking workers in demanding socialist reform to overthrow Tsar Nicholas. So basically, it was a communist takeover. And so his family were executed by the Bolsheviks. In March of 1917, the revolution broke out on the streets of Petrograd, which is now St. Petersburg, and Nicholas II was forced to abdicate his throne. Later that month, actually, yeah, the Bolsheviks were led by a terrible, terrible man by the name of Vladimir Lenin, and he seized power. So basically, they were like socialists. Trying to change the way things were. And a lot of citizens were angry due to the different wars that were going on. A lot of them were hungry. A lot of them were actually cold and starving. And so they were getting angry at the rulers. And so that's how Lenin was able to like sort of convince them to follow him, if you know what I mean. Now, what was really sad was that the family was vanished to Yekaterinburg late one night of July the 16th, 1918. Nicholas, Alexandra, his wife, and their 5 children and 4 servants were ordered to get dressed really quickly. And so they were in a rush. They told them to throw their clothes on. Now, they were banished to some place in the middle of nowhere, basically. And they were forced to go into the cellar. And then a whole bunch of armed men burst in to the room that they were all in and started shooting them. I think the first one to go was Tsar Nicholas, and his whole family watched in horror as he was murdered. Then one by one, they were picked off with gunshots. Some of them actually survived. I believe one of the princesses had the family jewels sewed into her corset, the corset of her dress, and the bullets could not penetrate the dress because of the precious gemstones and jewelry. And they kept shooting her, and she didn't die. And apparently, I believe, finally, she got a gunshot to the head. Now, one of their youngest sons was crippled. It was just like a really, really, really sad story. And I like to collect Russian antiques. I think actually, especially the icons that you see here, the icons are just absolutely gorgeous. You don't see things like this anymore. I think the Russian Orthodox religion is a beautiful religion. Although I've never been to a Russian Orthodox church, I've actually seen them in videos, and the artwork is just absolutely amazing, as you can see with these pieces here. The amazing part of this is the fact that it has its original case. Unfortunately, the mouthpiece is the thing that's just really irritating my anxiety and OCD. I have like terrible OCD about things being complete, and the fact that I don't have that mouthpiece is like really aggravating me. If this thing had the mouthpiece, it would be spectacular. Again, please write in the comments below where I can get a mouthpiece without having to buy a burner piece. I don't want to have to spend $35, $50 just to get another cheroot piece and have to replace an amber mouthpiece with it. I'd like to spend under $15. So if you know, please write in the comments below. I'll even take actually Bakelite or something that's not real amber. If you know, please help me out. Find me a place where I can order, and not from China. I don't want to wait 30 days for it to arrive. I'm very eager to get a piece that would go with this. Here's the size of it, just for reference. You can see this is, I mean, teeny, teeny, tiny. And wow, $14. So once again, thank you for watching another episode of Ghetto Antiques Roadshow. And this goes to show that every so often you get very lucky looking for these treasures and finding them for really cheap. It doesn't happen all the time. It could take me days of searching. I'm not kidding you, days. Where I sit behind the computer for 10 hours straight looking just to find one sleeper for cheap because I can't afford very much. And it happens though. The more you actually, they say like for every action there's a reaction. What you resist persists. Well, what I want persists by actually being obsessed and an absolute lunatic and totally obsessed, like with OCD for finding antiques. And so there we go. We got our Russian icons as well on eBay. This one I only paid $50 for. And again, it's actually a 1875 sterling silver. There you go. Well, not sterling, because sterling would be 925 silver, but almost sterling. Very, very rare. These sell for thousands of dollars. All because I just sit there like a total slave and sit on my computer for hours looking for these things. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all soon. I'm waiting your comments. I'm eagerly awaiting your comments to try to find out if I can get a mouthpiece for this. And if you know anything where any place I can get one of these little things here. And it's round, actually. Damn, I wish it wasn't broken. But shiz happened. All right, guys. So I have not only do I have panic disorder, anxiety disorder, I also have some form of CPTSD and probably obsessive compulsive disorder now. I can never leave anything alone. It was driving me crazy. So I made this actually fit onto the cigarette holder. I actually also polished it. You can see how clean it is now and shiny. And I had a fuck up. A total fuck up. I was playing almost I don't know, fancy girl, I call it. And so I was walking around the house pretending I was a fancy girl. And I was like, ooh la la, I'm smoking a fancy cigarette. And I stuck my cigarette into the little wooden holder. And I was looking in the mirror at myself and admiring this really cool looking cigarette holder. And then the bad thing happened. And what was the bad thing? Okay, you see this little original piece of wood right here? A whole piece, when I pulled whoa, shit, we almost dropped this. A whole piece of this wooden, oh, damn, we can't focus, piece, a U-shaped piece broke right out of it. And it was ghastly looking. And I was like, where the hell am I going to find one of these now? Holy shit. So now not only do I need a Baltic amber mouthpiece to go with this thing, because there's no way in hell you're going to find one that actually fits something this tiny. Because trust me, I Googled and I looked and I couldn't find a damn thing. And so what I did was I did my best to make it not as noticeable because it was a U shape. So I took a nail file and I actually filed it down flat until the U-shape disappeared, the U-shaped gouge that was out of it. It was actually the size of the whole entire wooden funnel. And it was lost on one side, completely fucked up. And I was cursing, and I was cursing myself for playing fancy girl. So again, in the comments below, tell me where I can find an actual authentic Baltic amber mouthpiece for this. And then I will be satisfied. For now, we have this just for shits and giggles, just to give it a little display. And I think it looks actually quite cool. It's not so bad, although it's not proper for this. I think it looks sort of coolio. And all right, guys, I know this video is way too long. I will talk to you guys all soon. But this is one of my better actual purchases from eBay. This was a lucky, lucky buy. And I'll see you guys all soon. I love Russian antiques. I think they're quite beautiful. Bellissimo. Fantastico, or whatever the hell you want to call it. So long. Oh, by the way, I was going to actually try to smoke a cigarette through this, but then I figured the Antiques Ghetto Roadshow, or the Ghetto Antiques Roadshow, would no longer be, because they would probably find my dead body on the floor. And then, because this was poisonous to smoke out of. All right, guys, that's it. I'm out of here. So long.